She's really ready.
Okay. Welcome to another Path to Faith with Lapid Judaism. We're breaking new ground yet again today. Last week, our last Path to Faith, we had an entire family that went through conversion. This week, we have with us Moshe and Koren all the way from Holland. And they've been here a little bit over a week. Last weekend, they went through the mikvah to share with you their story. So, Moshe and Koren, it's so nice to have you here. This is such a wonder. This is such a wonder to think about your path and your journey. And today you get to share it. So this is what I asked, the very first question I asked everybody. In 15 minutes or less,
You sure?
share, each of you share, 15 minutes per person, share your journey to this point.
Okay, well, I think it is a couple of years ago, 2008, that a friend of mine, Gineke, she did a course. We were both intrigued by it because it had something to do with the Bible. We were Christian, or we were Christians then. And, well, the interest was more learning about the Hebrew and the Hebrew thoughts also. I bought a Gumash and I started to read in the Gumash, and I can remember how I was shocked when I read that God, the Torah, and Israel are one. And I thought, well, they have a nerve, or that to say that. But that didn't left my mind, because I thought, in the end, I thought, well, it must be true that it is Israel that is the people of God, and the Torah is what we tend to a church where we were leaders too, and from there on I read the Gumash. And I read the rabbis, and I could tell little things that I discovered in the Gumash and what the information that they give. And that was information that we didn't know, of course, because it is so much, not much time. In 10 minutes I couldn't tell it. So in a few weeks after that I could make a sermon what the rabbis told in the Gumash, and well, there the story begins. That
yes. You started with the Hebrew roots from our Christian faith. That's how you we sort of started it. And being pastors, that was the community there started straight away. Like, oh, we're not becoming Jewish, are we? So that was quite difficult for us because we wanted to go on our own journey, and being pastors was a little difficult. And then we decided in 2016, we decided to move to Germany, and then sort of cut all the strings we had so we could actually start our own journey without any attachments from whomsoever. I was born Catholic, raised Catholic, did all the rituals, and then after a while when I was 18, when I left home, I sort of left everything, and then after 10 years almost then we met. We were both working as psychiatric nurses, and that's where we met. And well, Koren came from a Christian background. I didn't, so we started talking, and well, it's a long story, but cutting it short, she left, I stayed behind, and I sort of left a life without God, without anything, a little bit of Sodom and Gomorrah lifestyle. And then after 8 years we met again, and we sort of started talking. And you came from a different background. Maybe it's a little bit good to tell that.
Yeah.
Just to see from how far we actually come.
My background is a sort of, we in Holland we are calling it the Noorse Broeders. My mother went there, my father didn't, so there was already a split in our family. And the Noorse Broeders, they are very strict in their teaching, very narrow-minded. All the women had to wear, head coverings.
But then bluish and grayish and non-colorful.
Yeah, and
it was to be bleached.
Yeah, and it was a kind of wettish. How do you say that?
Fundamental.
Yeah, fundamental. And I didn't, as a child, felt very comfortable because it was a man-made tradition of man who was taught there. And I had some issues in growing up, in more that I always have the urge to do the things good and bad, and that is a kind. It is always been a struggle to live my life, but not good knowing where am I going. And in Christianity, it was also not so very clear. Of course, Jesus died for my sin, but the goal in life I missed. Yeah. Of course, I was looking for my ministry and for the things in my life, where I could walk in, but I never had the goal. We don't have children, so that was also difficult. And I know we went to praying groups and to those services where healing services, but that it didn't help.
No.
So we were both kind of looking for what do we do then?
Yeah.
And that was
that's where we can pick up on 2016 again. So when we really sort of cut all the strings, and then we started looking, and you've always been the person who really likes to study and dive into things and have questions. And when she has questions and she can't get the answers, she keeps searching and searching and searching. And over the last 6-7 years, that's actually the way we lived. I go to work, you stay home, you do things at home, you study, I come home, we start talking about things, and every time sort of went deeper and deeper, and we moved sort of from, let's say, from our Christian background, Christian life, we started moving more and more into the Jewish Messianic, first of course Messianic, and then even that, there we didn't get the answers.
Well, the big change came when we said, the Shabbat, where that was the first thing that we did.
Yeah.
We talked about it, and it was. Then it comes.
Yeah, and the funny thing was, like, first we sort of found it difficult, so we started Shabbat, getting used to the Shabbat idea from Friday 6 o'clock to Saturday 6 o'clock, which is actually not going with the times, but sort of setting apart that day. And then after a year, 1.5 years, then we thought, well, if we do it, we have to do it correctly.
Yes, because it was a struggle, because we always on Shabbat, we did shopping. Yeah,
and other things. I mean, Saturday is normally the day to, because I work all week, so actually Saturday was our day to do things. Work in the garden. We live in Germany, so you work in the garden. You can't work in the garden on Sunday because there's there's a law about things have to be quiet on Sunday in Germany.
In Germany.
So it was really weird, because then we going to the Shabbat, and then we can't do anything on Sunday, so when are we doing? It still didn't feel right. And then one day...
Yeah. And I was amazed. I
remember the first time when you said, wow, you have to listen to this. This is it.
This is, well, it fits. Everything comes together, and it is true.
Yeah.
It is Torah. And there are no big questions. The question marks are gone.
Yeah, because one of these things, like if you ask a Christian what is sin, you get 200 different answers. If you ask 200 different people, for us here, if you don't do Torah, it's sin. So that was one of the questions was really working, and so there were another of those questions. It's really black and white.
Yeah, for us, I think that for us the most concept, what became concept, Israel came back again, and circumcision made it possible for us to come closer to the covenant.
Really get into the covenant,
to be
part of it. Because I read one of course, in the Torah about when the people came out of Egypt, and then they were going to celebrate. That Adonai says it's okay if the foreigners didn't actually make the decision, although I really thought I had to do it. And then in February this year, then we decided to do it, to go on with it, and I had my circumcision going. And from that moment, it was for me, but also for you, things changed really, because then I really felt, okay, we're doing the right thing, and we were already in touch with Keturah, and so we were really ready for the next step. But the circumcision was really a big thing. It sort of spiritually, lots of things changed. I mean, in my body changed a little bit things. But the spiritual results were so much bigger. Yeah. That was really good. That was really a moment for us as well.
And that's when we started to follow the lessons, of course.
Yep.
And after that we finished the lessons, we knew that we were ready for the mikvah. Because, if I wanted to be in covenant, to grow, I could feel that we had to take the step to come to the Lapid, to go into the mikvah, because, here our journey started. So it was so beautiful that we could come here to go into the mikvah and to personally have that covenant with HaShem. So Paul has his own Moshe. Moshe has his own. That's what we want.
Will you lead me into my next
question? That's what we want.
Will you lead me into my next
question?
Yes, we will. Yes, but I just want to add something, because maybe that comes later. No, it's okay. We'll do that later on.
So you've led me into the next question, which is, describe your experience of going through the mikvah.
Shall I start?
Yeah.
Rabbi Pinson about mikvah, and he, which doesn't really, it helped a lot for us to get the things from my life which I want to get rid of, to leave them in the mikvah. But only when I came out, I actually started trembling. Because then, as Randy said last week, I looked back and I go like, oh, there's my old life in the water. And then it started to sort of dawn on me what I actually did. And I expected beforehand, I expected to every step sort of give me goosebumps. Because that's what almost gave the impression when you read the book. But that was not the case in my case. But afterwards, when it really dawned on me, I go like, yes. And then I started trembling and put some Jewish music on, which I really like, and I got crying and stuff. And then I thought, yes, now it's for real. Because with everything we did, we always felt like we have to take the step before we do. But then I thought, but I still haven't gone through the mikvah. So, and when they asked me, are you a Jew? And then I couldn't say wholeheartedly yes, because I haven't been through the mikvah yet. But now I have. Now I'm really feeling like I'm a Jew. And I feel it inside my world. And I thought, yeah, sure, what I do. Yeah, it is different. I can't really describe what the difference is, but it is different. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, when I baptized in church, I was very happy that I did that ritual then. I only felt joy and expectation, and it was for me, beautiful to do, and to speak the blessings, and to get rid of all the heaviness of my last years. And when I was alone in the mikvah, and when I was under the water, I could hear in my mind, I don't know exactly how that works, but there was a confirmation that I'm a Jewish woman now. And that made me very happy. So when I tried to get out of the water, it felt that the water, because it was so heavy, was trying to pull me back. So there was a little bit of strange feeling, but it felt also good, because, it was good to be there in the mikvah. And the mikvah has now another meaning for me. I wish that we had a mikvah at home, because then I should go before Shabbat in the mikvah. But
we're thinking about making plans how to build one.
Okay, but that it is.
No, but we actually, we noticed, when I look at myself, but now the fight is done. And I only have to remind myself that it's done. So it gives so much more power to my will of change. And I am a changed man. I am a changed person. I don't have to change. I only have to remind myself. Because I am changed, I can say now, you're not any longer any part of me anymore. And that's what the mikvah did.
Yeah.
You are a Jew.
I'm a Jew.
Yes.
And so are you.
Yeah.
So, as two of the newest converts, let me ask you next one, to Lapid Judaism, drawing on your experience, how would you advise those that are now trying to make a decision in regards to becoming a convert to follow Lapid Judaism? How would you, what kind of advice would you have for someone that's either just now coming in, just now for the first time, maybe this week they heard Rabbi, or maybe they've been here for a while and they just haven't gotten to that step? Yeah.
Well, what I would advise is don't walk around with your questions, because when we would ask the questions, and that's what we had. We had you and Shoshana, and that helped us tremendously, because every week, every step you take, you get new questions. It's not just I have two questions when they're answered. It's because every week, every step you take, you get new questions. It's not just I have two questions when they're answered. It's okay. So it's good to be in touch with someone who can really answer the questions and helps you to take every step. Sometimes, we already knew for a long time we wanted to make the step. First of all, we didn't know where to go. So when we found Lapid, that was good. And the second was, even when you know where to go, you still have to go there. And that needs help. We aren't really young. We weren't young Christians. We were really mature in a lot of things. But for Lapid, we're still babies. And you have to acknowledge that as well. As the word says, you shouldn't be wise in your own eyes. So ask the questions, listen to the answers, and think about the answers again, which gives new questions, ask them again. Just get in touch. Good.
Well, I should advise, if you hear new things, not to walk away, because in the walk that we walked, I've been shocked a few times, and I really felt that what is happening. All the solid ground was suddenly water where I was, and all the secureness that I had, all the faith was, well,
crumbling.
Yeah, and because it is so shocking, it is, you have a kind of, you want to push it away. And I have learned not to do that, but to let it come in. And, well, it is a kind of the real message is. And if you are shocked and directly say, no, I don't want this, or I put it away, well, I think that you miss a very, very, very beautiful gem.
Yes.
And you have to collect your gems, because
exactly, and that's the whole point. I mean, you will be shocked, but you have to be. See, in Christianity, when you get shocked, or when you have questions and you ask questions, you don't get the answer. You sort of walk away from things, and the only advice here is not to walk away from it. Give it a chance, let it grow, but you will be shocked. As Korens says, you will be shocked, but it's in a good way. And if you're really looking for Judaism, you can't be other than shocked because of all our Christian upbringing. If you wouldn't be shocked, if you had a Christian upbringing, you wouldn't have been shocked with Judaism. I don't know, you will be shocked.
Yes.
No.
And it's a good shock. It's like a defibrillator bringing you back to life shock.
Good,
Yeah.
good. So now I ask this of almost all the people who come in for interview, especially most of the people listening today are HCOs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so I always ask the question of what challenges have you faced as HCOs? What advice would you give to the HCOs? Because now you're presenting different than probably a different challenge than we've had with others that we've interviewed that were HCOs, in that you're from another country, another language, another culture.
Yeah.
Than what we have here in the United States, especially when it comes to time frames.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
In interaction. So, what kind of advice would you give, not just to HCOs here locally, but to our HCOs worldwide?
Well, first of all, you have to be aware that although you think you're alone, you're not alone. But it feels alone.
Yeah.
As I said before, and I know I'm repeating myself for people who might be listening, but it feels like you're dropping way behind enemy lines with not the right equipment. So you're there, it's like you're dropping way behind enemy lines with not the right equipment. So you're there and you think, I have to do the good thing, and then, but you are connected. We are connected. We were connected. We are connected with you. So you have to put some more effort in that, because of as you said, the time frame is different. We would have loved, but there's not that many people yet to know if there are more people, like we're coming from Europe. Are there more people in Europe where we can connect? We have the International High Group, so we try to get in touch with people even beside the group. So just to get sort of, to get a feeling of togetherness. But yeah, distance and time frames, it is difficult, but I don't know what to shoot with. You can get in touch. As we did. I mean, it's us suits us both. And from cultural wise, yeah, we are different, but it's more the question for you, because we come in here, now you actually distinguish the different cultures, but when we're at home and you're here, it's not that, it's a less a big deal maybe. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that important is that you take your own course in and stay by the Torah, because I think when a Jew is making his home or her home a home for HaShem, and you are following Torah, then we are a light. So, and that light has to shine not only here, but also in Holland, and also in Germany, and also. So I think for us, we are going home and we are going on with this much more care. I guess so, and we will try to, maybe
spread it.
We have to see what HaShem is bringing on our way.
Yeah, I think before we came here, we were sort of, we were still learning, a lot of learning, of course, but then we're going to visit, and we're going to for the mikvah, and we thought about becoming part of to become a Jew and become part of the family, but now we are a family, in the family, now we're going out with a mission. So it's definitely, if you have, would you advise, if you have a possibility, come over, get to know everyone, because every time we will now watch the video things or the live streams or whatever, we know you, and we are, and we feel it's so different. Much more part. It's so different now as, let's say, 2 weeks ago. And what has changed? It's the mikvah, but it's also knowing everyone. And really being here and smelling and whatever. I mean, it's part of our life now. It is our life now. It's not even a part of our life. So we're going back with hopefully on a mission and with the right support to do that. Let's shine our lights in Europe.
That's right. Hey, I want to just take 1 second and talk to those that are listening. If you are listening and you are in another country other than the U.S. and you have not reached out to us, please do, because sometimes we don't know that maybe you're in an area in another country that's close to another HCO, and we can connect you guys. So if you're listening to this, you're from another country, please reach out to us. Reach out to Keturah. Reach out to us online, and it would be great just to, number one, connect with you, and if we can find other people around you that are close to you, we'll connect you to one another. And I asked that.
Yes, you did.
I asked that.
Yes, we didn't want to spoil your party, but yes, you did.
I've gone through all the questions.
Yeah, but we had one.
You had one.
Yeah, it's about the mikvah, but afterwards we married again. You shortly mentioned it.
Yeah.
But it was not, that didn't do all the honor to what it really meant, did it?
No.
No.
No, because when we came out of the mikvah, just like Abraham and Sarah, we are born in their family. So we are following them, and we both had a new name. So Paul's name is now Moshe, and my name is Koren. And it is a little bit strange because, it is completely different. But we also had a Jewish marriage.
Wedding.
Yeah, a wedding, And that was fun, It was
more than, to me it was more than fun. It's really, man, listen carefully. If your wife circles around you 7 times as she do on the Jewish marriage, it feels special. And it really did. And so it sort of gave a new dimension to the happiness we already had together. And it's extra. And we understand why we are new people, and we understand why you do have to marry. But it was more than that. I can remember the first time you mentioned it, like, okay, you're going through the mikvah. Oh, yeah, and by the way, maybe you get married again. And then we go like, okay, what's that all about? Buy new rings, we did. Yeah. But yes, it is special. And it is a renewal of the happiness we already had. And it's part of our new mission, being one with Adonai, with HaShem, and going back again.
Yeah, well, it is, for me, it is covenant.
Yeah, definitely.
It is the covenant with HaShem, and it's our bond together with HaShem, and that is made visual in the marriage of in our wedding,
in the wedding, yes.
under the chuppah with the Rabbi Rebbetzin
and
all the others who were there.
Our new family.
Our new family, yeah, and that was a privilege. It was well, that for me it was in that sense. It was fun. It was a deeply felt connection.
Yes.
And to marry as Jews, and then we have a new homeland. And that's of course also because before we went here, the horrible things in Israel happened, and we have to get used that Israel is our homeland, and that's also a new setting of our mind again. That if we talk about Israel, then we talk about the land of Abraham, which God gave,
our land,
and that we are also now connected with that. And that's amazing, because we're coming back to what I said when we began. It is God, Torah, and Israel, and we are one.
I just want to thank both of you, number one, for coming here and being part of our lives, for letting us be part of your journey. It's been wonderful. And for those that are listening that have not yet decided, or you're just kind of trying to decide your next steps for conversion, reach out to us. Reach out to Tzur. We'll talk to you. We'll kind of let you know what the steps are for conversion, and we'll get you on the road. You know, it's been amazing this year. I've lost track of how many conversions we've had so far in this first few months of the year, but people are finding that the life they've been leading as Christians is lacking. They know there's something more. They're just not sure what it is. And then Lapid pops up out of nowhere on YouTube, or somehow or another you find out about Lapid, and it just makes sense. And I know some of you are just now starting to listening. Some of you are further along the way. But begin your journey of conversion. Begin it today.
Yes.
Make your decision. And let's get to work, and I'll reach out to us. We'll work with you. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. And maybe you have a blessed day. And we'll talk to you later, the next Path of Faith.